Welcome to Deep Dive with Dr. D. The entire goal of this podcast is to help you see that you have it within you to do amazing things. Hi everyone, welcome to Deep Dive with Dr. D, our Sunday 9 a.m. live recording. And I always do my shameless plug for my book. If you don't have it yet, I asked Zaire. I've already given you a copy. Of course I did. So you can get it wherever you buy books, locally at Gerald's and Pearl Street Books and Gifts, online at Amazon. You can get it as an ebook wherever you read those. And then yours truly narrated it on Audible. So there you go. Welcome to the show. You're why we're here today. I have Zaire Preston with me, and I've known you since 2001, I think. Was that the year you guys
98.
moved? You guys, so I met you guys in the fall when I moved here.
Yeah.
I've known you a long time. Long time. I consider Zaire family. You are family. That's what you are. I met her when she was a little girl, and we have our Hungry Hippo days when you work. Was that your first job?
It was my first.
It was, okay.
My first paid job, yeah.
First paid job, yeah. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
And I've known her mom, Barbara, and her siblings for a long time. So you're why we're here. I'm excited to have you on the show. So why don't you, and I always say this to guests, this goes out to the world, so keeping in mind, some people will just be hearing from you for the very first time. Others know you. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, okay. So I'm a person in recovery. I am a single mother, a local of Ellensburg. I have two children that have, they're my reason for living. I know that without them, I might still, really be struggling. And they're, a big part of, I think, who I am today, especially my daughter. I basically grew up with her, right? I had my daughter at 20 years old and still had a lot to learn. And now she's my best friend and my number one. Yeah. Yeah.
What grade she
Yep.
in?
She's in 10th grade,
Okay.
and she's an online student this year.
Okay.
So she's amazing, gets to help at home and pick up jobs and do the grow. It's so weird. She's just amazing, but she's, and we still have the teenage stuff, that's like, and,
14, 15?
15, yeah. Yep. And so she's got her driver's permit and stuff like that, and we still go through some of that, like, what would you call that? Almost like tension, parent and teenage tension, when they want to be really independent and they want to make decisions. And at the same time, we come around and we're just like, it's me and her, And then Desmond is my son, and he's 7, and he is in first grade here. He has autism, and he's another big, he kind of pushed me into this field that I'm going in. So that's the other thing. I'm a grad student at Central Washington University, and in my second year, and I work as a graduate assistant, helping to teach classes. Among all the other things that are going on. And, I think,
Single mom, 2 kids. We got to know Desi this summer because he was at the preschool. He's awesome. And I love seeing you and your daughter. And just hearing you talk about your relationship with your daughter reminds me of Tyler and Anthony. Me and Tyler had a dad-son talk recently, and I was sharing with him, one of the things I really admire is the relationship he has with Anthony, that sometimes I'm like, that's not your brother, that's your son. But also with that, they have a closeness that I think is pretty powerful, and I hear that from you. And then you also talk about the struggle of having a teenager. He talks about that too. So that's cool.
It's I don't know, there's something different about, and if I could have, my daughter, the experience that she had as a child is polar opposite the experience that my son is having, right? Because I didn't know left from right. You know, I was a kid. I didn't know anything, you know, and having a child out, you know, she was like an attachment of me, you know, it was like she was everywhere I was, she was. And, you know, she had to go through, I think, more because I was still growing up, you know. And then we have Desmond, and I had a little bit more, you know. I was almost
your toolkit, right?
Yeah, I was, well, and I was almost 30 years old. So it was just, I just maturity even, you know, just more aware of how myself or my actions impact my children.
Your kids.
Yeah. So, you know, there's the hard part and like recognizing that stuff. But I know that also has created this, you know, like we are bonded and we've gone through this stuff together, you know, it's just, and there is a friend aspect to it, and it's hard to keep that in balance, right? Because we'll go driving around and we'll listen to, you know, I let her put on her like rap music or whatever, and we're doing our thing, and that is like some of the funnest times, you know. The other day she said to me, I hope when I grow up, I have a daughter and she's my best friend like you're mine. Oh, wow. And I was like, oh, wow. You know, it just, it gives you, it's like the best feeling. And then we have our days where, stay out of my room, and you know, it's like, so it's really up and down, but I wouldn't change it, you know. Yeah.
So grad school.
Yeah.
I it's been an honor to be, you know, kind of a peripheral part of this journey, because I remember it was last year, a little before this time, where you were debating whether you were going to go to Central or Montana, and just being able to have a part in walking with you through that. And here you are now, and you're starting your second year to become a school psychologist. Did you ever think?
I mean, no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It just is beyond my wildest.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm super excited for you. I want someday for you to meet my niece Angel. She is a school psychologist.
Oh, no way.
She's a mental health counselor. I don't think she's technically a school, but she does counseling in a high school, and she has her journey as a person in recovery. And who better to really help kids in that high school environment, or in any school environment, that have walked similar paths in some ways, where you can intervene. But you're gonna change lives.
Yeah.
You're gonna be able to come in ahead of time to help so many kids and their parents.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's one of the things I love about Katrina with the preschool, is she doesn't just help the kids, she helps the parents. You're gonna, oh my gosh. I'm super excited for you. And that's going well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's one of my, and it's actually a special interest of mine, right? Is because I've gone through these experiences, it, you know, in a way it does feel like, when I get there, it'll be full circle. It'll be on the other side, you know, because I've been on the parent side of the table and, gone through these things, and it feels like sometimes an uphill battle. Right? It's like nonstop. No matter how much I try, no matter what I do, there's just this barrier. Yeah. And, you know, not only helping the kids, right? Because it's really finding kids the resources and the tools and the school structures that they need to be successful in that classroom, right? Yeah. But also for their family, you know, and just reaffirming for their family that, you know, we're going to take care of your child, you know, that your child is safe in a school system. And that's like, I'm just really excited to be able to, you know, support people through that whole process.
Yeah. So you've lived in Ellensburg since 98. So you pretty much, how old were you?
9 or 10. Yeah.
And directly prior to that, where were you guys? Montana or on the west side?
We were in Seattle.
You were in Seattle.
Yeah.
And your dad passed, yes?
Yeah, he
it's
died.
It's been a while.
In 2014.
I remember
15.
that.
Yeah,
so,
that was really rough. So.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. And then your mom, you know, I watched your mom as a single mom a lot of the time herself, raising you kids. And the one thing I've always admired about your mom is Oh, man. Wasn't planned at all. Me and your mom had a lot of talks.
Yeah.
When you and Tyler were out in the thick of addiction, and but your mom loved you kids so much, and I've always admired her level of commitment to you guys. And I'm sure it wasn't perfect, I know I wasn't, but your mom's a pretty cool cat.
Yeah.
And now she's a grandma, and I know she loves that.
Yeah. And what's really amazing is that she's my best friend. So it's really, it feels, it's hard to be a single mom. Sure. And, it's really, I don't really know one easy aspect about it, but there is this part where, they have all my attention and all my, not all, I shouldn't say that, but, they are, and I know it was like that for my mom, and, not ever giving up, and even though, she had to put up boundaries, right? Yeah. And I couldn't even imagine, the shit that we put her through, it's like, no, I'm going to cry, it's like, I think about if Deanna ever, and I don't know if I'd make it. I don't know if I would make it if she, I don't know. It just, you can't even speak on it unless you're going through it. But,
me
and then
mom had a lot of talks.
To continue, I'd show up at her door and just to keep, and then, if I couldn't get her at the door, I knew the Thursday night meeting. Oh. That was my other way in.
Oh, wow.
I always would go to that meeting and be like, hey, Mom.
Hey, here I am. Oh,
yeah. So, I mean, but, I did, and what's crazy about it is the last time I showed up, I was pregnant, and I had been sober for a couple of months. And I think that I did go to her house, but a couple of times, I did go to that meeting, and we'd be able to just connect for that hour. Yeah. Right. That little moment, it was in a safe room. And so it's just, man, recovery's been there all along. Yeah. And that's what's, I was in the rooms when I was 9 years old. Yeah. And that back, what was that place called? The Alice something.
Alano Club.
Alano Club.
Alano Club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember.
Over by the boat place.
And me and Kristen's, do you remember Kristen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I can't remember her son's name.
Yes.
But we, us kids of the parents of who were alcoholics would go and play outside while the adults were in there smoking their cigarettes. And
see, I missed that club. I came right after it had closed, and they had moved over to 3rd Street. Union Hall.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Really cool. Like, and what I want to say to you that I say to Tyler, and, I have to give myself credit for, but you're breaking generational cycles of addiction.
Yeah.
Like, your daughter and your son. Yeah. Look at your daughter. How old is she?
15.
Look at her trajectory right now.
I know.
And how much different it is.
I know.
And Anthony.
Yeah.
Anthony, I pay attention to these things, and I want you paying attention to him. We were at his brother's football game, right? Which he's there. Yeah. And he was actually watching some. I'm like, great, yeah, he's actually watching. Mm-hmm. He's a teenager. But he's like, I want to go climb that hill. Mm. He's almost 15, and he's wanting to just play and go climb the hill.
Right.
Like, you're creating that. Mm-hmm. You and your mom.
Yeah.
Breaking generational cycles of addiction.
Yeah.
The chances of, your children having struggles, sure, they're still there, but they're so much less.
Yeah, well, and looking at it from that, you forget while you're in it, right? Because it's like, but when you're looking from the outside, I mean, when I was my daughter's age, I was already doing the crazies, and she's wants to do Running Start. She might graduate high school with her AA, associate's degree, and I'm like, that's just, I don't know, it's just really, really amazing, and
and you've done that. Yeah, you've facilitated her having that environment to be able to do that, and Tyler's done that for Anthony to go to his first homecoming dance. That little effer. I cuss all the time. That little fucker went to his first, right, and he's got stuff, but not near. I mean, and you as parents have created that for your kids. You've been in long-term recovery for a while now. About how long?
It'll be, 8 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a while.
Yeah.
Okay. When you look back, what do you think helped you hold on when things felt the hardest? And this could be in early recovery or in recovery or pre-recovery, when you were contemplating.
Yeah. Well, in terms of early recovery, I think it sounds really opposite. When I was first getting sober again, this time felt a lot different. Because I don't know, it was a spiritual experience. That's the only way I know how to say it. But sure. I think, once you get past that kind of like, wow, this is so amazing. I can't believe this just happened in my life. I'm sober, right? For any amount of days. But you get past that a little bit, what do they call it? The pink cloud. Pink cloud.
Yeah.
And you start to come down from that a little bit. And you're like, there might be things that happen that don't, you have the expectation, or there's like, things that come up. And for me, the thing that really helped me hold on, and it sounds really opposite, but was just remembering how painful it was. I was like, my low was so low that there was nothing else for me. I knew I was going to die. I just knew it. And in fact, I invited it. And, and when I finally was able to get sober, it was like, there's no way I could ever go back. There's, the worst day that I ever had sober was better than any of the days, and so I think, there's that saying in the big book that they say, we don't dwell in the past, but nor do we wish to shut the door on it. And so it wasn't that I dwelled in the pain, it wasn't like, I had all this, but I grew from it, and yet I almost felt like repulsed by thinking about using.
Interesting.
And and that's in terms of like recovery and using and stuff. In terms of like, mental health and emotional health, the thing that kept me holding on the most was, I think it was building back and getting back relationships in my life. I didn't have very many, but I could call my mom. I could, call my sister. And that was, I never, those people were out of my life for so long. And they didn't trust me, and there were all these things. And I had those things back, and it was like a gift, and creating a little bubble of peace in my life. That just kept me so steady. Because stuff still happened that was like, what am I supposed to do? COVID happened. I mean, that was crazy. But somehow I had this little apartment, and it was the first apartment that I had in 7 years. I had been homeless for so long, and the type of homeless where it was like everything I owned was on my back. It was like
primarily Yakima.
Yeah.
Is that where you got your first apartment?
Nope, I got it in Ellensburg.
It was up here.
Came back, yeah. I went through the trenches in Yakima, so I started using when I was 16. And so from 16 to 28, I was in active addiction, and had little bouts here and there. Birth of my daughter, was able to get sober, but nothing ever stuck. And I hate to say it, but it was like I couldn't see that there was another way. I would always go back, and I had all this, stuff that was like needed to be, and I couldn't live with it.
What do you think, because I think about this, what do you think were the little nuggets that gave you glimmers of hope during that really rough time when you had everything you owned on your back and you're on the streets?
Yeah.
What were the nuggets of hope?
Man, it's really crazy. It sounds, but that point in my life, I had lost a lot of my hope. Right? I'm like, the world was dark. I mean, I went by a different name. I was a completely different person. But sometimes, you know, that trickle of my spiritual foundation would trickle in. And I'd see something, or I'd experience something a certain way and just be like, I know that was something bigger than me. Yeah, that was, you know, in the beginning, you know, it was holding on so I could get back to my daughter, you know, but and it really just hurts.
You had lost your daughter.
Yes. So she did go into CPS custody once in her life. But I got her back 4 months later.
Okay.
So she was in foster care for 4 months, and that was really hard.
Was that a moment where you like, I got to change?
Yeah, I got into treatment real quick.
You did?
And that's how I got her back.
So was she with you on the streets?
No.
Where was she?
So she was with her dad.
Okay.
So
yeah. Oh yeah. What was his name?
Was for Ryan.
Ryan.
Yeah. So she was 4 years old when I found out. So I had been sober here and there. I was in Tri-Cities. It was like a place that, you know, a place. Yeah. And my mom had taken her on a trip to Montana. And in that time period, I was going swimming. I found out I had a warrant, went to jail.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So was able
in your bathing suit.
Yeah, my shorts and a tank top, soaking wet. Yep.
Isn't that always great?
Yep.
Like, oh,
I was like, cool.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Yeah, and oh man, they putting you know, they give you your clothes back. And it was like great. Yeah, it was not fun. But you know, I was like, okay, I need to take care of my warrant. I need to go to treatment. I need to do stuff. And I think those were my rationalizations, you know. But I knew somewhere in there I registered that I was on my way down again and that I was going to probably start using. And I just was like, you know what, I can't, you know. And I called Ryan and I said, I need help with Deanna. I need you to take care of your daughter. I'm going to go do this and I'm going to go do this. He showed up because he hadn't been in her life at all. Wow. He showed up. And, you know, I trusted that because he lived with his dad and there was a structure and he had a home and stuff like that. And, you know, in my mind, you know, in that time, I'm like, I'm going to go for 28 days and then I'll get her back. Well, I went to treatment for a week and I left. And then I went right to the street. Okay. And I was there for 5 years.
What treatment was this?
That one was Sundown.
Oh, Sundown.
Yeah, I've been to Sundown. So.
How many times?
Twice.
Okay.
Yeah, but I've been to treatment 7 times.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you know.
And I always say it takes what it takes.
It is, yeah.
1 or 20. Okay.
Yeah.
So the hope. So if I'm hearing you correctly, the nuggets of hope were kind of a spiritual thing for you that would just kind of come in here and there, but it was dark.
Yeah. It was really dark. And I
didn't know you went by a different name.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was really weird.
I probably wouldn't have recognized you.
No.
Yeah. This is down Yakima, First Ave.
Yeah, like. Yeah. One of those people with the bikes and the backpack, and I dressed like a boy. No, you wouldn't know that I was a girl. It was just nuts. It was a whole different.
And you know me, I'm this guy. Look at you now.
Yeah.
Look at you now.
Yeah.
Like my heart just like I'm so filled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was little things that would just happen, and I'm like, okay, I'm not alone. You know, but they were brief little times, you know, or I'd figure out how to reach and call. And how is you know, are they doing okay? You know, for a long time I couldn't
get in.
Yeah. But even then, you know, you're so out of it that it definitely, like, sometimes it was just something happening in my life that just, like, I knew that was there for a reason. And I was like, okay. I mean, okay, here's one thing. I was sleeping on the side of a building or just nodded out. I don't know. And this man like found me and said, do you need help? And I was like, I don't know. And he got me a job at a hotel. Yeah. And I started cleaning the hotel, but you know, and it was still crazy and I was still using and stuff, but I had a plate. I had a room. I had a room and I could leave. I could shower and you know, I cleaned the rooms and pretty much ran this hotel in one of these nasty hotels, but that was a little thing. It was a little thing, you know.
And this is just a man seeing you and saying, hey.
Yeah.
And he was authentic in his need?
Yeah.
You didn't, wow.
Yeah. It was this old, he was like probably 80 or something. But,
so I never thought of this. I don't know if we've had this conversation. So when I returned to use in 06, the fall of 06, I had an expressway down to Yakima. Were you in active use during that time?
06?
Yeah, 06, 07.
No.
You were in...
No, because I was still in high school.
Oh, God. Yeah. Okay.
No, but
yeah.
My time with you was during your relapse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
During the Hungry Hippo days.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what was the boy you were hanging out with?
Adam.
Adam. That's right. Yeah, you guys stayed at Sarah's for a little bit. I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it turned chaotic real quick. Yeah.
Gosh.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were still in high school.
I have this memory of you guys, of course, in the...
Tahoe?
Yeah. I don't know why I always want to call it a Durango.
I had it because I had it.
And you had the... Oh, maybe, okay. And you had these subwoofers in there, and you used to... Remember that song that came out? Welcome to Jam Rock.
Yeah.
All the
Damian
time.
Marley did.
Damian Marley.
I still love that album.
Yeah.
In fact,
anytime I always knew when it was you driving because that was your song. No.
Welcome to Jam Rock.
Yeah, like bumping it. And it was like, oh my gosh, there they go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Coming into the shop after hours.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean,
I remember the one time we came in and you were cleaning up and we're acting like shits and I was throwing candy on the counter.
You guys were always having some crazy like food fight. It was straight up food fight. I was so pissed. I was
Tyler,
I just cleaned it. Yeah.
Did you ever work with Tyler?
I didn't work with Tyler, but Tyler was at Sarah's.
Yeah.
You know, so we got to hang out a little bit there and whatnot, but God, that seems like a different life, doesn't it?
Were you there the fateful day that Tyler challenged Sarah to drinking?
And he nonstop puked?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
guys had a ping pong fight before that, and it was like ping pongs were
everywhere.
All over. Like, I was like, what are they doing? You know, because I was just a weed smoker back then. All I did was smoke weed.
So you weren't... Okay.
I was like, what is going on?
What is going on? Yeah, it was...
crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. Sometimes, but, you know, it feels like a whole different life. And
it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know what? We got to... there's something about, like, you know, whether you use together or you don't, but just something about knowing somebody for that amount of time and going through just the
stuff,
dirt, you know, and then coming around and this is how we live and this is possible. That's like it. I don't know. I'm always going to be bonded to you and to Sarah. I'm always going to be bonded to you guys. And I don't, you know if it's just because of that or because, you know, we've known each other for 25 years or whatever. But
well, I think if we just had that experience and nothing else, it'd be different. But your family
and Katrina, I mean, all you guys. That was like early.
Yeah,
you know, when the AA group was doing the.
Yeah, it was a tight community. For that period of time.
I remember you guys. We would have New Year's parties, and you guys would come over to the house or whatever.
I have pictures.
We'd bang pots and pans
on Third.
On Third.
Yeah. Because I ended up living in the duplex.
Oh yeah, that's right. And then your song was Shorty. Or not Shorty. What's that? Shaggy. Shorty, you're my angel. Non-stop bumping that song. And we'd go over there. What's this guy doing?
Music. Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Let's do this one. As a mother, student, and person in recovery, how do you balance giving to others while still protecting your own peace and progress? And so think about this as a mom.
Yeah.
As a mentor, a sponsor.
Yeah. This was something that I really, really struggled with, you know, my whole life. I mean, you could look at like some of the socialization part of it, right? Like, okay, I'm the eldest child of a dysfunctional alcoholic family. I always take care of the family, you know, and I picked up those roles, that hero child stuff. And so from the get, I was always the person to fix or always the person to... you can rely on me, you know,
responsible.
And, position. You know, growing up, that was
you.
Yeah. That was my identity. And then it became like the way I identified myself was with another person and making sure that that person was okay. If they were okay, I was okay. And they were not okay, I was not okay. And associating so much. And that evolved, of course, you know. And in recovery, you know, I had to learn that who I am, my time, my energy, my, you know, whatever it is that is precious, and that I get drained and I don't help anybody when I can't say no. And that took a long time for me. It took a really long time. And even putting up a boundary or saying, actually, that really doesn't work for me, I would feel guilty. I'd feel ashamed. Oh, I'm not good enough, you know? And today, the way that I balance that, and I am able to, you know, put up boundaries, and I right off the get, you know, when I have, let's say, like a sponsor or sponsee relationship, you know, I say, this is, you know, what I need as a sponsor, you know, because it can quickly get so easily about the other person and supporting, and I'm pulling your lifeline, you know, and that even goes for my kids, you know, like with my daughter, you know, and with Desi, and that I, you know, you want to give them everything because you love them so much, but I'm like, no, I can't do that. I don't have the energy to do that right now. Right now is my time. And actually being able to put up that boundary now instead of guilt and shame, it feels so freeing. It feels so like, I don't know. I feel like a person, you know, and that was like something I didn't think was possible. I didn't know how to do those things. And so, you know, I think the way that I do it is really keeping in tune with my my center. And when I'm getting off balance, then I'm able to know, oh, you know, what is this stuff that's going on right now? And I can do a check-in with myself, and I can say, okay, you know, am I doing things that are against my values? Am I resentful? Like, you know, oh, you know, I don't want to do it, but I'm going to, you know, or something like that. If I can do these checklists, then I can make a conscious awareness to be like, oh, you know, I'm getting off balance. And being able to do that, I'm able to, you know, say, okay, what do I need to do to take care of myself? And that's a huge thing. I do struggle with it with school. You know, that's almost a given. It's just nonstop kind of stuff. And you know, I went through last year. I was a GA, a TA last year too, and I had this supervisor who was just overbearing. You know, she wanted me to design the course, and she would email me at 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night, and can you go and fix this? I want it this way. And I'd do it. And, you know, first year was really hard on me anyway. So I was up and I'd be doing these things for her, designing her course for her, and send it to her or upload it. And she'd be like, oh no, I don't quite want it that way. I need to do it. I want it a different way. Oh, I want to actually compare. And no matter what I did, it wasn't what she wanted. And so I finally had to get to the place where I was like, listen, I'm here to help you with grades. I'm here to do this, and this, and I'm not here to teach your course by myself. Like, you know, and if you know, are needing that kind of stuff, because I think she worked or did something else, and she was a distance teacher. But, you know what I did with that? I created a document. And I worked with the head of the department, created a document about graduate assistant guidelines. Boom.
Wow.
Boom.
Wow.
And the supervisor has to sign it, has all the expectations, has, you know, things about relationship and how to do relationship conflict. And
kind of sad that you're the one that had to do that. But pretty awesome.
Yeah. Well, you know, and the other thing I said, which I never would have done, I went to the head and I said,
chair.
Chair. And I said, I'm unwilling to work with this person again. I will not. And please, you know, if there is something else, and I honestly don't think anyone else should work with her until she gets her stuff together, but that's not my call. I'm just saying for me, I'm not willing to. And it was scary because I didn't know, when you're thinking about people that have more power than you don't really know. It's a little bit different than saying, actually, I don't have time right now, to just someone who's, whatever. But it was received really well, and I was validated. And so it was like, okay, I can do those things. I'm learning still about the
self-care.
Yeah, self-care and the professional side of self-care.
It's critical.
Yeah, which, I never would have known because I was a waitress. Right? Yeah.
So I learned something about you that I guess I knew it at some level, but you're the oldest. You're my brother Bob. When you were talking about, you're the caregiver, you're the fixer, I'm the youngest of 4.
Okay.
And my brother Bob was the oldest, and he was in that role. Crazy, my childhood was just chaos all the time, and he was the fixer. He was the one that had to, as a kid himself, have to care for us kids, and so that's a lot. That's a heavy weight that I know he's had to bear along the way. And we're a little older than you guys in the trajectory of age and all that, and he's in his 60s now, and I haven't seen him happier in his life than just recently. He moved to Arizona. He rekindled a relationship with a high school sweetheart, and I think in his life now he doesn't feel that weight as much as it used to. But you older kids, the hero. Yeah. It's really hard to break out of that. I mean, it comes with a lot too. It comes with, I believe that's where my perfectionism comes from, right? Yeah. It's like, it's gotta be just so. And this sort of like it's the academic drive comes from wanting to prove whatever, the value. And it started as, making sure everything, my family's so happy, you would never know anything, and when you go home and on the inside, I can remember I was, it was either 6 or 7 years old, and I got home off the bus one day. So I was like in kindergarten, and I had a knife, and I just wanted to die. And I was so overwhelmed, and just, that was the inside, but you would never have known that from the outside. And I wanted to just, that young, I couldn't even imagine my son wanting to kill himself. And that's what I was going through, and it's just breaking away from that. Of course, there was all the stuff that came with it, but it's really empowering, figuring out that I don't have to be everything to everyone or take care of every person that I meet, Yeah. I've seen you come a long way in that realm.
Yeah.
Just sitting here talking to you, I feel a confidence in you, that self-worth, that independence, that, and this, right? How can we take care of others if we don't take care of ourselves? And you're doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's a really cool thing.
Yeah, I never knew what that meant before. It was like, I like myself, whatever. Yeah.
But now did we?
It's like actually doing the things to care for yourself,
Super
it's like putting that into action, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's,
cool.
Yeah.
I want to ask 2 more.
Okay.
Screw it if it ends up being more than an hour. I don't give a shit. But this speaks to your education and your process to become a school psychologist. So what inspired you to pursue a degree in school psychology, and how has your recovery journey influenced that path?
Okay, so just the shortest and sweetest answer is my experience, being a parent of a child with autism, and just another struggle story. Right? It was going through hell and figuring out there was a solution to that. There was a way to help people. And I saw this school psychologist giving my son an evaluation, and I was like, that's what I want to do. Oh. And I always knew I wanted to help people. I went into soc and psychology for a reason. I didn't know what. Okay. Because you kind of got to go a certain way. Yeah. But
so were you thinking a different path before? Were you looking at other career paths?
Yeah, I was probably looking at counseling.
Okay.
Yeah. And, counseling, there's a bit of counseling in school psychology, which was cool. But yeah, it was going through just the trenches with my son in public school. And he wasn't even in public school yet. He was in kindergarten or
pre-K.
Pre-K.
Okay.
Yeah.
So was it a certain, like, the school psychologist you saw in action, that this certain person, and then you're like, that's what I want to do?
Yeah, it was going through it. She gave him an evaluation, and we went through a lot of really maltreatment at a daycare or childcare center. The teacher was,
terrible,
verbally abusing him, and just bad. And he would just lay on the floor and cry if he saw her. Like, couldn't. And I had to leave him because I had to go to school, Wow. It was really tough. And finally I got him out of there. But to get into this school, this other program, if I wanted it to be free, he had to have an IEP or some other thing. And I was like, well, I don't know. What do I got to do to do that? I didn't, because he didn't have a diagnosis yet.
Oh.
We didn't know.
Oh, wow.
We just knew that it was really hard for him. Everything was really hard. And then I saw this school psych, and she evaluated him, and she said he's got a social emotional delay and a verbal expressive delay. And let's qualify him. And we got into this program, and it changed everything. Oh. And that program, I got recommended to go to Children's Village. Okay. They're like, we think there's more going on here. I think that took, 2 years to even get in there. Okay. But that's how we found, everything out. And then
evaluation. So that was huge for you as a mom.
But
also shifted you.
That's what I want. I want to help kids.
You help kids.
Yes. I want to help kids. And it's hard with the label sometimes, but at the same time, it's like, that's how we get the services, and that's how, at least how our systems work right now. But yeah, that inspired me. I think that was my first thing, right? And then just getting into it and realizing how much school psychologists really do. It's like they're this person. Most people don't know what school psychology is. They're behind the scenes on everything, and you wouldn't know, but they're doing so many things to create this equitable school system, right? And I'm like, I went through it in school too. I dropped out, I always say dropped out. I didn't go to school anymore in 10th grade, and they let me go to the alternative school.
Here?
Yeah, but back when it was on campus at Michelson.
In wait.
Yeah.
Bill
graduated me. I never, I went to, it was 3 days a week for 3 hours, and I couldn't even manage that. I didn't go. I started working at the Palace, and I was like,
I remember you were working at the
Palace. Yeah. And I was like, look, Bill, I'm going to tell you right now, I appreciate all this, but the way that I'm going to learn about life and what I need to do in life is by living it. And he was like, okay, just do your senior project. Come once a week, maybe an hour, check in, and I'll graduate you.
What a great...
And I would not have my diploma if it wasn't for him. And
I hope he hears this.
Man, yeah. And
super cool.
Anyway, so
there's your...
So that story...
It makes sense.
Again,
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and I think recovery has influenced that, because I just wouldn't be able to maintain any of this without it, right? It's like my foundation. It's my thing I can turn to, right? I mean, the three sides of recovery, right? The mental, the physical, and the spiritual. That is what
allows us to do everything.
Yeah. I mean, because I'm sick even without drugs or alcohol. I can get sick in my head real quick, and that recovery piece that just keeps me grounded, and it keeps me authentic and not too in my head, And
how many are in your cohort?
I have a lot. I have 13. And normally it's like a 10 or 8 or 9. And we started with 14.
Friendships? You got some?
I had there was another woman there, same age. So us two millennials were there, and we were really nice. And she's a parent, and she last year lost her husband. Yeah, just real suddenly. Oh my God. And she didn't make it. And so she came back, but she might still come back. But
sure.
She was my person. But they're really young, but it's...
opportunity to mentor.
It's great. I'm really lucky.
Katrina and Tyler are listening. They're like, God, Dad and David and his mentor. I'm always, hey, I want you to mentor this person. But that's how we change lives in the world and make it a better place to live, is through bringing other people up. Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna shift to our closing question, and I just want you to hear, and I say this to you, and I want you to just hear it in your heart. You're doing it now, but you're going to change lives in a way that's gonna like help people's trajectory that could easily go this way. And this is for kids with autism or any kind of diagnosis in the school system, to change their lives from going down to this. You talked about labels and being treated like crap and being pigeonholed, which I think is garbage. You're going to help. Mm-hmm. And I'm so excited for you for that. And it's not going to be easy. You know this, within a system that is in a lot of ways broken. Yeah. But I'm excited. I can't think of her name. She's our neighbor. Her mom is Ruthie Erdman, but she's a counselor at the middle school. And she does it. She helped Anthony so much in his middle school experience. We take boys, and expect them to sit in a chair but she helped him have a positive experience. The counselors, the school psychs, the teachers do phenomenal work, right? But you're going to be doing that. Mm-hmm. And I'm super excited for you. Yeah. 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 Hopefully you can find something close so you don't move away.
I know.
You do as we do. Okay, let's bring this to a close with two closing questions. And the first one is, you've taken your pain and turned it into purpose, right? What message do you hope your story sends to other women who are working toward their own healing and success? This is your opportunity to speak to a woman out there that's listening to you, maybe thinking, no way, I can't do that. Send a message of hope.
I think the first thing that comes to my mind is that, when it feels like, it's all too much, or that, the world, you're up against the world, maybe things are just, you're trying really hard and then things are just piling up and piling up and piling up. I think that the greatest message that I would say is that there is a source that you can tap into at any time. And I don't know if it's whatever, it for me, it's a higher power, but for people, they call it universe, they call it creator. Some people find, a power greater than themselves out in nature, whatever it is, that there's that source that's within you, and it's within all of us. And, you can tap into that at any time. And sometimes trying, and when you're trying and you're trying and you're trying, the best thing you can do is stop. And, I think, that's not to say just sit on your ass or whatever and don't do anything, but trying to figure out or move the puzzle pieces, and I've got to do this, and then I've got to do this, and then once I do that, it'll all be worked out. And, getting in that state of mind, that is dangerous ground. I think that, it's okay to make plans and make a step-by-step, but in the bigger picture, in the end, it is sometimes when you stop trying to figure everything out. Take a pause and allow yourself to be guided. Let the miracle happen. What do they say?
Yeah, sure.
Let it. Yeah. Don't stop. It's not like give up. Don't just say, well, I did my best. Right. I did my, and now I'm going to sit over here, but you still have to do your footwork. But I think there's a critical piece to what's really hard sometimes, especially even to recognize, because you feel like, well, what am I doing wrong? I know I felt that. What am I doing wrong that it's just not happening for me? But there's this piece of surrender that and trust that you can just say, okay, I've done my work, and now I'm going to let the work that needs to be done come to me, that source, whatever it is, and I think that would be the message that I'd have to say.
I like it.
Don't stop before the miracle happens.
Yeah. I like it. And I think you're right. I think, thinking on my own path in life and going through struggle, we can try to want to control what's coming or what we think's coming. And sometimes the best thing I can do is just focus on what's right in front of me. Mm-hmm. And it's like you're saying, don't do nothing, but allowing myself to be influenced and allowing the world to reach me. I think, you've been to treatment 7 times. I went to treatment twice. I've been to tons of counseling. And if I'm receiving what you're saying, man, if I would have just paused and allowed myself to be influenced by the world, people, places, and things much sooner, boy, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because it comes, there's been people in my life that just came right into my life at the right time. There's things that have happened in my life. I tried so hard to find recovery, and I believed that I could do the talk, I could do the walk. I was like, yeah, I got this. I got this. And, somewhere along the way, it was me. I was doing my will with that. And I think that almost blocked me from allowing myself to be, guided. And, there's thing about spirituality, is that it can be in science, it can be in rock, it could be whatever, the thing, some people talk to the people that have passed on, and that's the best that they can do. And that's what works. But, it was finally when I surrendered and I was like, for example, I'm just going to go fill out this application. That's all I can do. Yeah. And then I'm going to go home and I'm going to take care of myself. And, I remember I was eight months pregnant and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm sleeping on my mom's couch. I'm 8 months pregnant. I have nowhere to live. What am I going to do when I'm going to have a baby? This is crazy. And a week before Desmond was born, the housing authority called me, didn't even have a phone that was working, connected to Wi-Fi. They called and, hey, if you can get down here at 4, you got a place. I didn't do that. Yeah. I turned in the application. Yeah. And so if you just do the little work, it will happen. You just got to let it surrender to that. Yeah. You don't got to lie, cheat, and steal your way there anymore. Right? Like,
super cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Last one. And I'm always a little like, oh God, what are they going to ask? But may not have anything. What's something you've always wanted to ask me?
Okay. So I think the thing that, just in our conversation today that has come to mind is, I really admire you and how you talked about the generational stuff. And I see you as a grandfather and as a parent and as a husband, and showing up for people. You've helped me, you were the person that helped me realize I wanted to stay in Ellensburg when I was trying to decide whether or not to go to Montana. And I was like, oh yeah, because I was getting ready to leave because I had problems. Yeah. There was this, when you have problems, that's what I do. I'm a revert to leaving. But I was like, and I think that comes to mind in terms of the question is, what has been, as a person who's been in active addiction and been through it with their child and now in recovery, what has been, your biggest lesson in making those transitions from, addiction to recovery, and now even applying that as a grandfather in terms of your relationships with your children or child and grandchildren. What's your greatest lesson in maintaining that relationship in terms of,
The first thing that comes to mind is I don't have it all figured out.
Yeah.
I'm a little emotional just because me and Tyler, our father-son relationship is good. But we just had, a heart-to-heart father-son talk in the living room and it was over an hour, and you know, I don't have it all figured out. And I think that for me, with being a grandfather to Anthony and Alaric, you know, and just because of proximity, I see Anthony more than Alaric. It's not bad or good. It just is what it is. But I've been able to have space to be able to just listen. I think that's something I'm working on a lot is, you know, because I am a grandfather, I am a father, and I do have life, and I'm a college professor, and I do all these things, and I love mentoring, but allowing Tyler to be Tyler, allowing Anthony to be Anthony, and not trying to, well, it's kind of what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Trying to put all the pieces.
Yeah.
Just, you know.
Yeah.
Being present.
Yeah.
When you were talking about giving hope to a woman, you know, one of the things that I try to practice on a regular basis is just being here.
Yeah.
It's 10 a.m. Oh, this is perfect. It's the first time I've looked at my watch. This is timing. But being here at 10 a.m. on Sunday in my office with Zaire and not be, it's happened a couple times. You know, I'm thinking about the week or, you know, and I think some of that's normal, but this is what we got. And that's the one thing that I value the most about living a life in recovery, from going to treatment and AA, NA, and the 12-step community and all of that, but that living in the now.
Yeah, living in the now.
This is all we got.
Yeah.
I went yesterday to Mitch Barker. He's a local, I don't know if you knew him, but he was a guy that passed pretty suddenly.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah.
Pretty suddenly, you know, and I don't know. I don't know when my time's going to come. So in each day, if I can have a positive influence on someone's life, I'm in. If I can be in fact, Ashley, Alaric's mom, sent some pictures up, and I'm not dismissive of, she wrote on the back, you know, #1 grandpa. You know, when I get those nuggets like that,
yeah.
You know, when Tyler said, when we hit that effing fucking goddamn elk, you know, and he kept us from, and I'm like, I just kept, wow, son. He's like, well, you know, maybe my dad taught me how to drive offensively sometimes instead of, I'm like, okay, I take those nuggets.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. It makes me feel good, and it makes me want to do more. Yeah. And I'll close with this. Yeah. Is my ultimate goal in life is this, to help people see that they have it within them to do amazing things.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. You can do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we do the things you talked about today.
Yeah.
Right? Show up.
Yeah.
Show up when it's hard and set boundaries and be the best mom and screw it up and then go, okay, well, all right, I screwed that up. Let's figure this out.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a thing about learning that we think learning or growing, it should be like this, you know, data point or whatever, this point to this point or whatever. And eat with a couple here and there's, you know, and we think, why is this happening to me again? And what it is when we're going through the shit again and we're going through why, you know, that is the learning, that's the growth, you know, it's this loop-de-loop and it's this craziness. And, you know, there's not really an endpoint to that.
No.
And trying to stay in the now, like you just said, that's the only way that you can be willing to learn. Yeah. Yeah.
We did it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Great. This was perfect. Until next time, friends. Thanks for listening to Deep Dive with Dr. D. You can follow me on my other social media channels by clicking the link in the description.